Q and WCBS FM HD2, New York. A Good Karma Brands radio station.
Michael K. is on the radio today, and he ain't afraid to say what he's thinking. It's the Michael K. Show on 880 ESPN Radio.
And a good afternoon, everybody. This is indeed the Michael K. Show. We thank you for joining us on this Thanksgiving Eve. It's Wednesday, November 26th, 2025. Me and you for two. It's the fastest 2 hours in sports talk radio. Those are the rules of engagement. It flies by. We'll lead you right into Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. What we're going to do today is we're going to speak some uncomfortable truths. And I think that sometimes you need it. It's like it's an airing of the grievances before Thanksgiving. Some things I'll tell you, they'll be shocking. Some things you go, yeah, I figured that. And I'm going to start off right away. The guy who's running the board on the show today is the lovely and talented Anthony Pusick, who was the producer of the Michael K. Show in the afternoon for, well, I think 31 years. That's how long he did it. So he knew every little in and out of me and Don and Peter. Today, he's on the board of this show, and from what I've heard, Tom Bauer, who usually does the honors, pushed aside by Anthony because Anthony wanted to return to me. Anthony, true or false, you can't stand Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg?
Wow, that's very strong. Full stiff arm to Tom Bauer, though, of course.
Oh, that's what you did. You gave him the Heisman.
Yeah, he's already out of here.
I'm just wondering, why was this need to do this show, to come back to me? I mean, Ray's not letting you produce. You know that. Ray Heenan loves this gig.
No, of course not. He said, what are you doing here? He thought he was just going to handle this by himself.
Right.
But you know, of course, after seeing you yesterday, miss you a lot. Miss you a ton. And just, of course, had to get one show in before the holidays kicked off here. So I'm glad to be back.
This is like your holiday present, then?
I think so. I feel like it's a present.
Oh, it's good to have you back. It really is.
Thanks, Michael. Nice to be back.
And I know that you're going to angle to get this gig full time and let Tom produce Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg.
He also still hasn't answered your question.
How much he dislikes them, right?
That's right.
You know, that's why I raised my consigliere. So answer the question. How much do you dislike them? How much are you not enjoying doing that show? How much do you miss me in the afternoon?
I miss you, but I do love doing their show. Tom's back now, so he doesn't seem too happy.
Right.
But no, I don't hate them, of course. I love those guys. But, of course, miss you terribly, Michael.
Ray, do you buy any of it? Any of it, Ray?
No, he's a politician over here.
Yeah, and you know what politicians are. Anyway, I'm going to tell you one of these uncomfortable truths. And by the way, today's Thanksgiving, or today's the day before Thanksgiving. And I think that everybody that's listened to me over 24 years realizes this is my favorite holiday. You know why? Because it's not transactional. You know, Christmas, you got to give gifts, you get gifts, whatever the case may be. There's pressure that you buy the right gifts, that you don't buy too expensive gifts, you don't buy too cheap gifts. It's a lot of heat leading up to Christmas. Christmas is almost a relief. Birthday, same deal, transactional. Do you get enough? Are you showing enough love? Thanksgiving, it's none of that. None of that. It's just about people sitting around that like each other and eating. I'm watching football. That's what it's about. But here's one of the uncomfortable truths. I don't like pie. I'm not saying 3.17. I'm not a pie guy. Now, you might say, well, what do you mean? I'm gonna shock you. The only pie that I eat is a pie that my sister makes, and I always go over to my sister's for Thanksgiving, chocolate pudding pie, which essentially is chocolate pudding, and you're using the pie crust as a cup. That's pretty much it. But this will stun you. I have never, get ready for this, I have never in my life had apple pie, cherry pie, blueberry pie. Nothing like that. I've never had pumpkin pie. Never. So one of the staples of Thanksgiving, everybody's passing around the pie. Not this guy. Not a pie guy. Never have been. And somebody came up to me in the studio yesterday and said, "You've never had apple pie?" I said, apple is a fruit. Dessert's not a fruit to me. I don't need to have apples and some kind of gook in a pie shell. So that's something I will not be doing tomorrow. Chocolate pudding pie made especially for me by my sister, that I'm going to do. That I will do. So that's one of the uncomfortable truths we'll tell you today. Now I want you to tell me some of your uncomfortable truths. Or not, you don't even have to do that, but here's the deal. It's Thanksgiving tomorrow. And all jokes aside, and by the way, that wasn't a joke about the pie. Don't like pie. Never have. You know, people were jumping on Peter Rosenberg the other day because he prefers cake to pie. And you know what? I don't see a problem with it. It's one of the few times in anything that I'm aligned with Peter. You give me a good 7-layer cake, a chocolate layer cake, any kind of cake, much better than pie. Much better. Because really, what is pie crust? Brutal is what it is. Cake, though, it's full cake. From the frosting to the top to the bottom, it's cake. There are some people that pick at the pie crust. Another uncomfortable truth that you're going to be shocked at. You're going to say, you know what? Kay's a freak. But I think you've known that anyway. I have never in my life, ever, had stuffing. The whole thought of it makes me sick. Where they put it makes me sick. And really, you need more carbs on Thanksgiving. You need bread stuffed into a turkey's whatever. No, I don't need that. I've never had stuffing in my life. Now, Anthony, you've heard some of these things. Is it hard to grasp? But I've never had stuffing.
No surprise here.
None, right? Because it comes down to this. I'm a freak. Anyway, I want to, before we get to the end of the show, because we'll make our 2-pack for sure picks at the end of the show, because there will not be a show tomorrow and Friday. We'll make our picks. And I don't want to be caught with no time left on the clock. Thanksgiving, you give thanks for things in your life. And I was a little bit uncertain when I decided to transition to this 2-hour show, leaving Don and Peter after doing the afternoon drive show for so long. I mean, it was between doing this or just stepping away completely. But I still like doing sports talk radio. And doing the show by myself, I was a little bit questioning myself. Do you really want to do this? And I said, well, let's give it a shot. And I'm so glad I did. And I have loved the 1-3 spot. It has made my life so much better in terms of seeing my kids and my wife more. When the show's over, kids are coming back from school. And if I was doing the afternoon show, they'd be coming back from school. I'd be doing the show, and I wouldn't see them until much later. So it's improved that quality. But the thing I'm thankful for is that I did take the chance. And by taking the chance, it put my relationship with the listener really on blast. Because it's just the two of us. That's the way I look at it. You know, Mel Allen once taught me, when you're on the radio, don't broadcast to the masses. Broadcast to the one person that you know that is listening to the show. And when he told me that, I was on doing the Yankee radio with John, and he said, who's the one person you know that is listening to the Yankee game every single time you're doing it? I said, my mom. He said, broadcast to her. Because if you broadcast to one person, if you broadcast to your mother, then everybody that's listening thinks that you're broadcasting to them. You're not broadcasting to the tens or hundreds of thousands of people that might be listening. No. You're broadcasting to one person. And every person that listens feels that one person is them. And that's probably the greatest advice that I'd ever gotten in my broadcasting career, because when he told me that, I was in my second year doing the radio. I'd been a newspaper guy for so long. And he said, you're a different broadcaster when you're on MSG on the postgame show than you are on the radio. And I said, well, what do you mean? He said, when you're on the postgame show, you're just talking. You're not broadcasting. He said, but when you do the games now, you're broadcasting. You change the way you communicate. He said, just talk. He said, and the people that are listening will think you're talking to them. All right, so fast forward to today in 2025, 34 years after, Mel Allen told me that, and it comes down to this. You guys have made it so easy. You have been there. I talk about you guys are the co-hosts. There's no Don and Peter anymore. And if you do a show alone, sometimes it could feel like you're talking to yourself. I don't feel like that because everybody engages. People call in and make it kind of a family affair for the 2 hours. And I am so grateful and so thankful for that. And really, I can't thank you enough. It's been such a blast. And it seems like it's resonated with you. It's a little bit of a different feel than doing the show with Don and Peter. Because with Don and Peter, I always look at it this way. I was a point guard. Now, I scored. I tried to score, but I was a point guard. I was trying to set people up, too. Here, I'm just chucking. I don't have to set anybody up but myself and you, the co-host. So thank you for making the first year of the show, and we'll be back again next year as well, and hopefully longer after that, making it so easy to transition from doing like a group show to doing a show, just the two of us, me and you for two. Now, on a more serious note, there are several Facebook posts today that didn't even hint at, but essentially they just came out and said that my friend and broadcast partner and Yankee icon, Paul O'Neill, is at the beginning of a long cancer battle. When I read it, my heart just sunk because I had not heard that. Paul had not, we had not spoken in a couple of weeks. And I got nervous. I love Paul. I really do. And, the relationship that we built up in the 24 years that we've worked together at Yes has become like almost having the brother I never had. He's kind of goofy, and he goofs on me, and I goof on him. And, well, I mean, I don't want to get too ooey-gooey, but I love the guy. And I have a completely different relationship than I had with him when he was a player. And I had a great relationship with him as a player, but, players hang with players. I mean, that's their teammate. And when you're on the media, even if you're doing the radio, there's a separation of powers. But working together, getting to know his family so well, and, he's getting to know my family, and, he was at my wedding and stuff like that, we become really close. So when I saw that, my heart just sunk. And so made some phone calls, checked things out, and it's totally made up. Thank God there's nothing wrong with him. Nothing. It's total fiction. That's why, I mean, not to go down this rabbit hole, but that's why I laugh when I hear things, even from, Elon Musk, that X is the new media. No, because there's no checks and balances. So this was posted, I think, on Facebook, and then it spread onto X and stuff like that. It's not the new media. It's people could say anything that they want. Anything. So somebody somewhere thought it would be a good idea to get some clicks to make up that Paul O'Neill is battling cancer. Totally untrue. So this is from Paul. I got a text from him. I can't believe they can do these things. Please clear it up on the radio if you can. It's a bunch of crap. He said it's all about clicks, which doesn't mean anything to me. And he said, have a great holiday, and tell everybody who was worried to have a great holiday as well. So my heart sunk when I saw it this morning. And then I, rather than bother Paul right away, talked to my boss at Yes, and he had spoken to Paul and Neville and totally made up. So please don't have any fear about that. But the new media, I mean, if you don't trust the media the way it is right now, where at least you would hope that there are some checks and balances. I know there are probably fewer checks and balances than we had all hoped. But I think for the most part, they start out trying to get it right. But when you say that X is the new media, it's not. There's no credentials. Anybody anywhere could write anything, post anything, and that's not news. That's fiction. Might as well be Dr. Seuss. Might as well be Dr. Seuss. So, shout out to Paul being fine. And for those that were worried about the Warrior, he is, in fact, fine. All right, it's time for the co-host, 1-800-919-3776. And let's go to the phones. Let's bring in the co-host. Let's go to Henry in South Carolina. Henry.
Michael, if I may reply to your opening segment, I am likewise grateful for you still being on the radio. My heart sank a little bit when the announcement came last year that things would be switching around, but I'm very grateful for the 2, oftentimes 7 hours that I get of you and Don and Peter and Alan, and it's all been a great year. And you've brought me closer to sports. You've brought me closer to the Yankees, and I am very, very grateful for that. So
thank you, man.
Thank you. Thank Anthony. Thank you. A couple replies here, and in the period of time that I've been listening to you guys as much as I have been, I've learned so much about you, predominantly about your food and your food intake. And now I understand. Now that you've brought up a couple things that you don't like about Thanksgiving, I think it's textural, Michael. I think you don't like goopy things. You need things to have structure. You need things to be very firm, because you don't like a pie. You don't like condiments. You don't like the ointment. And the thing that these things have in common is they're very soft. Am I onto something here? Am I getting a grasping the understanding here?
I'm not sure. I wouldn't say that you're wrong. I think there's definitely some truth in what you're saying, because when I look at the stuff I don't like, it is kind of goopy and it is kind of like sloppy. And I do like things with structure. And maybe that's why I like the chocolate pudding cake, because it's not like soft chocolate pudding. It's in the refrigerator and it's hard, or chocolate pudding pie. Yeah, it's strange. People are hitting me up on social media. They can't believe that I don't like pumpkin pie either. Just don't like it. So maybe you're onto something.
I don't think that's shocking. I think that you're fine with protein. You like a steak. So I think that's where I draw the line here. Now, my uncomfortable truth about Thanksgiving, and this is kind of aligned with you, I've never understood the sweet potato casserole. I think the marshmallow is nonsense. I don't understand it as a dish. And the more sporty listeners may not like this, but football has always been a distant number 4 when it comes to me in the Big Four, and I've never really quite, I don't need to watch football on Thanksgiving. I know that's odd. That might be my uncomfortable truth, but that's how I've always felt, even from when I was a kid.
Well, you know what?
Even listening to the show has brought me closer to caring about football now.
I do enjoy it, Henry, and happy Thanksgiving, because, now that I have a son who's 11 years old and he loves to watch it, it brings even greater joy to me. And it's also a good respite from, the different things that you're eating during the day. So, you unbuckle your pants a little bit, or you wear sweatpants that stretch. You sit on the couch and you watch football. Not that you're like, unless it's the Giants or the Jets, I'm not really digesting it, no pun intended, the way I would. But, it's like these flickering images going by me. And I do love that aspect of it. There's another part of our Thanksgiving. It's a 2-parter. I don't even know how we do it. So my sister makes her famous lasagna, which was, passed down from my mom, her recipe. And we have that first. Then we go back, we watch football for about an hour, and then the whole full meal again comes out. So it's like lasagna is the appetizer. And then there's turkey and all the fixings and stuff like that. So, yeah, I do like the football part of it, Henry. Let's go to Gilbert in Staten Island. Gilbert.
Yo, Mike.
How you doing?
Happy Thanksgiving. Mike, the reason that your show is so successful is because you're intimate with your listeners. You've always been intimate with your listeners. You know what I'm saying?
Well, thanks.
You need to give a couple of little lessons to your favorite pupil, Peter. But Don is is like a smooth machine, just like you. And on the Thanksgiving pie thing, let it go. These people are gonna come for you. Stop doing that, man.
What? So you like pie?
No, I'm with you. I'm with the chocolate and the mousse and the whole nine. But I won't, like put that out there because I know they'll chew me out.
You know what, Gilbert? I welcome it, and I wish you a happy Thanksgiving.
I know you wear bulletproof vests all the time. I love you.
Absolutely.
God bless you,
Although,
you and your family.
Sometimes, Gilbert, you might have the vest on, but it actually still pierces. Yeah, sometimes it hurts. Most of the times it doesn't. Let's go to a Jim in Milford. Jimmy.
Yes. Hi, Michael. Hey, first, let me say I really enjoy your new show. You do talk specifically to a listener, and I have the feeling that I'm the one you're talking to.
Oh, that's great.
I love
Thank you.
I love that it's on YouTube, that I can watch it and listen, and the time slot works really nice for me.
Awesome.
But what I really want to talk about is social media. There's so much false information all over Facebook, and there seems to be nothing anyone can do about it. For example, I found baseball sites on Facebook where they claim that Bernie Williams was elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. So I looked at that. I thought, what? There's been no inductions, no elections lately, and I checked it out. It's totally false. Here's another one. Josh Hartnett, the actor.
Yeah.
First, he's going to play Babe Ruth. Then he's going to play Ted Williams. Same exact post, except they changed the name from Babe Ruth to Ted Williams. I looked that up. Totally false. Totally false. No catching of anything. No monitoring. Social media is just a wasteland.
It's a wasteland. It is a cesspool. And the thing is, on X, they try to have community notes and they correct some things. But when you consider the amount of information or misinformation that's put on there, it's almost impossible to correct everything. I mean, they don't have a staff of millions. So some things are, in fact, corrected. If I could push a button, and believe me, social media, with the legitimate sources of news that are on it, it is such a great thing for this show, for my job, the amount of information that could be at your fingertips. But you have to be savvy enough to know what's information, what's not, and follow the people that are actually legitimate journalists. But if I could push a button and social media never existed, ever, there's no Twitter, X, Instagram, Facebook, and there's a lot of enjoyable things about it, I would push that button because I think it's made the world a much more terrible place, much more dangerous place. The amount of propaganda that you could spread, the falsehoods that you can get out there. I just look at Wikipedia. I mean, there are kids that actually do, book reports at school or any kind of reports at school working off of Wikipedia as if it's like the Encyclopedia Britannica. And if you look at one of the lines on, my profile in Wikipedia, Michael K.'s sister is married to Bob Lorenz, his colleague Bob Lorenz. Just untrue. You could put anything in there. You could put anything in there. And I think there are enough people, sappy people, or saps, that believe anything they read. And that's the way of the world now. It's not just social media. There's things on TV that are just not true. And they're put out there because there's a segment of people that want to hear the things that they say. Or people that put stuff out there because they want to get clicks. I didn't intend for this show to be a referendum on social media, but boy, is it dangerous. It's just so dangerous. There's no other way to put it. Everything about it. Let me rephrase. 95% of social media is awful. It gives voice to the dangerous. It gives muscles to the weak. It gives bravery to the gutless. And there's nothing you could do. The things that are written two people that have some level of fame or celebrity, whatever you want to call it, and it gives people the opportunity to say these awful things about people and their family. So, I mean, if I get hit with some of that shrapnel, can you imagine what really famous people get hit with? The falsehoods that are spread about them? But I'm not sure there's anything that you could do about it. I don't think that you could put the milk back in the udder. All right, I have a quick quiz for you, a Thanksgiving Eve quiz. So we have 3 Thanksgiving Day games tomorrow, leading into Thanksgiving Eve as well. Of the 32 teams in the NFL, right? 32 teams. One NFL team, just one of the 32, has never, ever played on Thanksgiving. Just one. I'm going to give you some time to think about it. I will give you the answer, what that team is or who that team is, as we move along in the show. I'm going to talk to Frank Isola. We'll talk some basketball with Frankie in just a moment. Mike Lupica will join us for his weekly spot at 2:30 on Wednesday. And, of course, you're the co-host, so hang there, and I will try to get to all of you. The Fall Savings Event continues this November at Bay Ridge Mazda. Lease a 2025 Mazda CX-30S for as low as $169 per month, or the 2025 Mazda CX-5 Select for as low as $229 per month, and get as low as 0.9% APR financing rates on select models. Plus, enjoy 1 year complimentary of Bay Ridge Plus benefits like ding and dent coverage, key replacement, windshield protection, and roadside assistance. Visit them in Brooklyn or online at BayRidgeMazda.com. Bay Ridge Mazda, where confidence comes standard. See dealer for details.
Listen up, New York. It's football season, and you should be out there enjoying every play, every tailgate, every moment. But if you're dealing with neck pain, back pain, joint pain, or sciatica, even getting off the couch can feel like a challenge. That's where Dr. Jay Shaw at Sandwell Pain comes in. He's one of New Jersey's top pain specialists, Ivy League trained, double board certified, and dedicated to getting you back in the game. Here's the difference. No surgery, no scars, no long recovery, no pain medication. Just precise, non-surgical, image-guided procedures that get real results. Dr. Shaw treats everything from neck pain, back pain, migraines, nerve pain, and chronic joint pain. And he builds a custom game plan that's right for you. Same day or next day appointments are available with offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood. And yes, most major insurances are accepted. So don't let pain keep you on the sidelines this season. Go to SandwellPain.com to call, text, or book online. Relief is closer than you think, and it starts today.
D'Agostino, Law, Bite Back.
I'm injury attorney John Ryan D'Agostino, nicknamed The Closer, continuing D'Agostino and Associates' legacy of helping the injured for over 35 years. My father, John D'Agostino, built this injury firm to help accident victims.
This is John D'Agostino, and this is a family firm. For us, it's about doing what's right and making sure somebody pays for your pain. Call us first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-BITE-BACK.
They call me The Closer because big or small, in court or out, I'm fighting to get the job done, to win, to get you every dollar you deserve.
D'Agostino and Associates has offices throughout New York and New Jersey and will come to you. I've been there and I'll be there for you. Call us first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222.
This is Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg.
What you're saying really isn't that your issue's with Hal, is you don't like the way he runs his business. He spends enough. The problem is, of course, the guy making the decisions. So you can't tell me you're frustrated with the product because it doesn't win. What you're frustrated with is that you don't feel like the guy who is in charge of baseball operations is good enough at his job to build a championship team without overspending.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Weekdays at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Empower. Tim collects bobbleheads. A lot of bobbleheads. Baseball bobbleheads. Race car bobbleheads. Little Chihuahua bobbleheads. He's got an entire room strictly for bobbleheads. Does he need them? No. Is his wife mad about it? A little, but Tim works with Empower, and he got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Ooh, horse bobblehead. Classy, Tim. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
ESPN Bet is becoming the score bet this December. The same betting app you love with a new look and promos curated just for you. Existing ESPN Bet customers don't have to change a thing. Your account, wallet, and bets will all remain the same. Plus, kick things off right now by logging in and claiming a 100% profit boost. More action, more rewards, more for you. The score bet coming this December. 21 plus, gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Welcome back to the show. Game Time brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. 7 p.m., the Knicks are in Charlotte to play the Hornets. Coverage begins at 6:30 p.m. right here on 880 ESPN New York. On the ice at 7 p.m., Rangers are also down in Carolina to play the Hurricanes. Coverage on 1050 ESPN, and the ESPN New York app begins at 6:30. And also at 7, the Islanders host the Bruins at UBS Arena, and the Devils host the Blues at the Prudential Center with Don LaGreca on the call on the TV side. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew. Try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glass up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. I love talking to this guy. He is great at whatever he does. We work together at the New York Post. Great writer. He has a Sirius XM show in the morning on basketball with Brian Scalabrine, and you could see him on the Yes Network as well on the Nets pre, halftime, and post-game shows. He is my good longtime friend, Frank Isola. Frankie, how you doing?
The great Michael K. How are you? Good to hear from you.
Good to have you come on with us. So I hate any kind of pie at Thanksgiving. Do you like pie?
I'll eat, because it's once a year, I'll do pumpkin pie. I kind of like the way it tastes. With
Really?
whipped cream, I could do that, but only once a year.
So you don't
Once
like
a
apple
year.
pie and cherry pie and all that?
Apple pie during the year, but not on Thanksgiving, because I only eat pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving. I like it. Then I put it in the refrigerator, then I might have a piece the next day, then that's it.
Now you put Cool Whip on it, or just like?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, some kind of whipped cream. Yeah, I like that. That's a good. It tastes like Thanksgiving. It tastes like the fall.
And
I guess it's like the same as a sweet potato pie.
Are
Kinda
you a turkey fan?
No, but I'll take a small piece on Thanksgiving. What about you? I can't imagine you like turkey.
I do like turkey. I don't love it though, and since I don't put gravy on it, it is quite dry. But I'll have it.
There's no way in the world that you're putting cranberry sauce on turkey.
No, I don't
Right.
like cranberry sauce.
Yeah, I don't do that either.
Yeah, I don't like
then
stuffing.
like somebody sitting. I know. Then somebody near you like has the cranberry sauce and it's getting into the other stuff. Oh, it's just like I don't like the look of that.
And
So if anybody
Thanksgiving
has
is the
that,
one
you know,
holiday,
look at
Frank, that if you don't like food touching, you're in trouble because a lot of foods spill over.
I know. You'd be an interesting one on Thanksgiving because I know you're pretty picky about eating. That would be an interesting. They should almost do like a 30 for 30 on you at Thanksgiving.
They're working on it. I'm glad you brought it up. They are working on it. Yeah.
But Mike, what do you think? You had the World Series was pretty exciting, wasn't it?
I thought it was great.
Pretty good.
I always thought the 2001 World Series is the best World Series I'd ever seen. And this one's up there. I mean, because there's like 3 or 4 forever games in it.
I think you and I were at the Jack Morris game, right?
Yeah. That was the last game I ever covered as a writer.
Yeah, in fact, I think I saw. I remember being on the field with you and Bob Ryan during that series, and Bob Ryan was just being Bob Ryan. He was like talking really fast about like a number of things. I thought that was a great series. But I love the guy, the second baseman on the Dodgers is Rojas, right? Miguel Rojas. I got it right.
Changed the whole series.
What he did, like, come on. How about having that for a ninth inning? You hit the game-tying home run in a Game 7 where you're, 2 outs away from losing, and then you make that play in the field in the bottom of the ninth. Can you make 2 bigger plays in a World Series than what that guy did?
And
Amazing.
the guy had been a non-player for about a month. I mean, it was a brilliant stroke by Dave Roberts. It was unbelievable.
It also tells you too, and you've lived it. There's not a lot of sports that could bring that kind of drama. I mean, it's just like that was such a good advertisement for baseball. I think overall baseball had a great year because I think the pitch clock has been brilliant. You know, The average time of a baseball game this year, I think, was 2:38. I did the Nets' first game of the season, and if you look at the NBA, the first week, the games were taking way too long because there were a lot of free throws, a lot of fouls being called. I think the first net game was like 2:45, 2:48. Too long. You can't have a 48-minute basketball game taking that long, especially when basketball games are going longer than baseball games. You can't do it.
It's odd. I mean, and that's what always made basketball so attractive, that there was a window that it fit into, and you knew it would fit into that window. And baseball is now shorter than basketball. It's a little troubling. So let's talk a little basketball. I'm concerned, Frank, of the Knicks defense. To me, I think that it's going to haunt them against good teams. They, their philosophy seems we're going to cover the paint and we'll give up the three-point shot, which is the exact opposite of what they do offensively. Do you think it's going to be a problem moving forward? Because unless they change personnel, they don't have a lot of great defenders on the team.
No, they don't. I think you're right. The way that they do this, especially now, every team, you hear these coaches talk before and after games. All they want their players to do is shoot three-pointers. And, your two best players, Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns, they're not going to work. It's not like they're going to quit on you on defense, but they're not great defensive players. And without OG Anunoby there right now, Mitchell Robinson, it's hard to count on him being in and out of the lineup. I think the interesting thing about the Knicks is now you notice that Josh Hart is playing a lot more. So Josh Hart was a huge player for Tom Thibodeau, and I think where everyone's kind of missing the boat on that one was he's a huge player for Jalen Brunson. You know that Jalen Brunson likes having him out there. They know how to play together. And watching them in person the other night in Brooklyn, you could tell that the Knicks team as a whole has played together a bunch, but it's just different with like Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson. It's almost like Draymond Green and Steph Curry light. Like Draymond Green, when you go to a Warriors game, Draymond Green always knows where Steph Curry is, and when you watch the Knicks play, Josh Hart always knows where Jalen Brunson is. So offensively, I thought they were good, but I think you're 100% right. It's going to be an issue. They got to get better defensively if you want to win 4 playoff rounds, because that's what this season is all about, at least winning 3 and getting to a finals.
I was talking with Alan Hahn yesterday at the end of the show, and we both said, at the beginning of the year you go, okay, there's a nice clear path to the NBA Finals, but Frank, the East is a little bit better than people thought it was, and Detroit has now taken the next step. It doesn't seem like it ever loses, and out of nowhere, Miami has become a very good team again after being brutal the last couple of years. So it's not as easy of a path as we thought.
Yeah, and you just mentioned the 2 teams that stick out for me, even more so than Toronto, which is going for its 9th win in a row. Detroit's going for its 14th win in a row. They've done it twice. They've won 13 games twice before. In both the years that they won 13 in a row, they went on to win the championship. And the kid, Cade Cunningham, that's like he's a big-time player. He's everything you'd want in a star. He's very mature. When he plays, he's very poised. You could tell his teammates like him. So Detroit's only going to get better, and the kid Jalen Duren is terrific. But Miami, it's interesting. You see what's happened to the Clippers. They lost last night for the 11th time in 13 games. A team that they lost to the Lakers has won for the 11th time in the last 13 games. But Norman Powell was a big addition to the Miami Heat. That was a terrific move by Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra. And Miami, they just got Tyler Hero back the other night. It was the first game that they won. And when Miami has a bad season, the one thing about Pat Riley, I always remember Jeff Van Gundy saying about Pat Riley, every day he thinks about winning a championship. It's the thing that he's obsessed with. So last year, the Heat were boring. They weren't very good. They ain't boring anymore. They get up and down. They play at a much faster pace, and they kind of got that toughness back. They got a little bit of an edge to them. And the kid, Khalil Ware, the center, has been much better. So I think you're right. The East is a lot tougher than people think. But you know what it'll come down to, Mike? It'll come down to which teams are healthy. Right now it seems like everybody in the league is carrying an injury. They played too many games early on in the season. And, of course, what they were always going to get Tom Thibodeau on was that running the players into the ground. The Knicks were the one healthy team last year in the playoffs. It was everybody else that was hurt.
We talked about this, last week, the comments by Steve Kerr. Well, we have to cut down the inventory, so to speak, and have 74 games. And first of all, it's never going to happen. The owners are not giving up the 8 games, and the players are not giving up the money for 8 games. So I just think it's so weird that Kerr would bring that up. I know he has older players on his team, so he's being selfish. But, Frank, most of the players play 65 games anyway. So if you cut it down to 74, would they play 50? Don't they want to play? And you see a guy like Joe Burrow, who, he was asked, why are you coming back to a team that's 5-8 or whatever their record is? He said, because I get paid to play and I love to play and I want to play on the field. I don't want to sit back and wait because we're not winning. It seems like players don't want to play anymore.
It's a huge problem in the NBA, and it seems like it was something that was talked about and addressed a few years ago. And now, like, you look at all, I mean, you have more games than ever before, national games on Prime, NBC, and ESPN, and players are missing games all the time. I mean, these networks paid a lot of money for the NBA. It's just ridiculous what's going on. To me, I have like a couple of theories about it, and I think, Brian Scalabrine and I have talked about it a lot on our morning show. These preseason games are completely meaningless, and the players come to camp in shape. They should just start this. I would start the first week of October with regular season games. I'd play 2 nights a week. So the first month, everybody plays like on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or a Friday. Maybe you want to get a Sunday afternoon game in there, even though you'd be competing against the NFL. But if you did that for the first month, you'd get 8 games out of the way, and you'd have a ton of practice time and a ton of rest. Because of this in-season tournament, the teams are playing too many games early on, and that was all a setup by Steve Kerr. They had played, I think, 12 or 13 road games already. The Golden State Warriors had, and that was all a setup leading into the Miami game because he didn't want the team to get fined, but he knew he wasn't going to play Steph Curry, and he knew if Steph wasn't going to play, then Draymond Green wasn't going to play, and then Jimmy Butler didn't play. And the problem is, stop scheduling back-to-back games. Remove that excuse from the players. And you know this from baseball. If you want to play a night game after a day game, once the NFL ends and a lot of teams start playing on Sunday, if you play Sunday afternoon and Monday night, all right, that's a back-to-back, which is acceptable. Just get rid of the back-to-backs. It eliminates that excuse for the players because you have to do something. It's not fair to the fans. When the Yankees go on the road for a 3-game road trip, chances are Aaron Judge is going to play all 3 games.
Yep.
Even if he doesn't start one of the games, there's a chance you'll get him in an at-bat. You'll get him pinch hitting. So people that went to the game that day will at least get to see him. Steph Curry only goes to Miami, Michael, once a year. So guess what? There are people that went to that game just to watch Steph Curry. How much of a bummer is that? And I'm not putting on Steph. He's 36, 37, or 38, whatever he is right now, but it's a bummer for the fans. He would have played if that wasn't a back-to-back.
And if they started the season, as you and Brian say, at the beginning of October, you can eliminate the back-to-back because you're adding a month to the season. And also the NFL does it. They cut preseason games down. And Steve Young always tells us that the first month and a half of the NFL season is essentially preseason. So the NBA can do the same thing.
And, you look at all these muscle injuries, and you know how it works, Mike. I mean, you covered Don Mattingly with the Yankees. The minute somebody says they have a bad back, it used to be, oh, boy, we got to shut this guy down. The injury now is the calf tightness. It's amazing how many players are being held out because of calf tightness because they're all worried that it's going to lead to an Achilles injury because Durant had a calf problem, then he had an Achilles. Then, of course, famously, Tyrese Halliburton got that in the NBA Finals. So, I mean, it's like Drew Holiday, Shaedon Sharpe on Portland. You had Wembanyama and Dylan Harper on San Antonio. It's like there had to be about 10 to 12 guys that are missing games for what they're saying is calf tightness. So I think that's the teams being overly cautious when it comes to that. But I think the way to kind of cut down on a lot of these, muscle injuries is to start, play 2 games a week for the first month. Give the players, you get rest and you get practice time. And I think eventually the product will be better. And I think the players will be out there. You can't continue. It's unfair to the fans to do it. I mean, you could almost it's almost like consumer fraud. You're advertising like these players, and the NBA decided a long time ago it's a star-driven league. Well, you're saying that, and the fans want to see the stars. Where are they?
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I just don't know the NBA's trying, but you can't have a major award if you don't play in 65 or more games. I don't think it matters to the players. It really, really, they don't care. So the bottom line is I don't know what the answer is. Now, we're talking with Frank Isola. He has a show on SiriusXM with Brian and works at Yes on the Net broadcast. I've been coming down really hard on the Nets the whole season, Frank, because I just think it's unconscionable to just give away 2 years of your franchise's history, trying to get, a lottery pick. Tell me something positive about the Nets that I could feel good about, because I'm not seeing it.
Well, number one is the coach. The coach is the real deal.
Right.
And he's what I like about him. When they don't play well, he doesn't give excuses. He says, we're not good enough. We got to do better. And early on in the season, they laid an egg in games like Houston. I mean, they gave up 77 points in the first half. I think it was 134 for the game. He destroyed the team after the game. Not where he gets nasty, but he just talks about we have to defend, we have to compete. And something happened a few weeks ago where he got through to these guys. Because if you look, like to me, the results are disappointing, but it's still about the performance as well. And, they had the good win in Boston, which was actually a great win for them. And then 2 nights later, they went up to Toronto, and the game was tied 6 times in the fourth quarter. Right. Then there was a 10-0 run at the end for Toronto. So they've been playing much better. And I think he got through to Michael Porter Jr. He coached him in Denver. And I think he told him, listen, this is big for you because you're the best player on the team. We need you every night. And Michael Porter Jr. had played well against the Knicks. He missed a ton of open shots early. If he finished 1 for 8 in the first half on threes, and only took 1 in the second half and missed it. Like, they can't win unless he gives them a lot of scoring. That's the reason why they beat Boston the other night. But I do think the kid, the Russian kid who, when he was at BYU, we called him Igor Denim, but now his name has been changed to Yegor Dioman, so make sure you get that right. I don't know how we got Yegor Dioman out of that. And the kid Drake Powell has had some good moments too. So the 2 of the 5 first-round picks that they've taken are actually part of the rotation and playing pretty well. And the other thing is, it is a good draft this year, but you got to hit. Like, it's amazing. You look at Oklahoma City, they hit the high picks, they hit the late first-round picks, they hit the second-round pick. It's amazing what they've done. You have to hit on your picks. And the thing that could be depressing for the NBA, Oklahoma City could win the title this year,
and have a Clippers
and they have
pick.
The Clippers pick.
Unbelievable.
They could win the title and get the number 1 overall pick, which is complete. It's complete lunacy. But I think the Nets, the Nets have their pick this year. They don't have their pick next year. They have cap space. So I get it. It's like everyone rebuild, play the young guys. All right, you then got to live through it. And for Jordy Fernandez, the dude's competitive. I like the way he goes about it. He's trying to win every night, especially in November. So he's going to end the game with the guys that he thinks gives you the best chance to win. He's not just going to say, okay, you're a rookie. You were the 8th overall pick. You don't really deserve to play. And all the veterans on the team, I'm going to lose them because I'm playing you minutes you don't deserve. He doesn't do that, which I think that's the right way to approach it, especially in November. You see the kid Noah Clowney is only 21 years old, and it's his 3rd year in the league, and he's finally starting to come into his own. That's the other problem with young players. It takes a while. It took Cade Cunningham about 4 or 5 years to finally get it.
Frank, I thank you for coming on. I wish you and your family the happiest of Thanksgivings, my friend.
Thanks. You too, Mike. Enjoy that dry turkey tomorrow. Just put a little gravy on it.
I love it. No gravy. None. Just a little salt.
Thanks a lot, Mike.
Thanks, Frankie. That's Frank Isola. He is outstanding. We'll come back. More of your phone calls. We have Mike Lupica in the 2 o'clock hour. This Thanksgiving, FanDuel is introducing a brand new way to build a parlay together. It's called Pass the Leg. Here's how it works. Start a group build, add your pick, then pass it to your friends so they can add theirs. When everyone's done, you each look in the group parlay with your own funds because football is better when it's played and bet together. And to make it even better, everyone gets a 50% profit boost to use on their build. Now, I've told you the Chiefs are in Dallas, so maybe you like Mahomes and the over on passing yards. Maybe you like Prescott and the over on passing yards. Hey, the Ravens host the Bengals. Maybe you like Joe Burrow. Maybe the over-under on touchdowns. Or will Derrick Henry find the end zone? Grab your crew, start your build, and get in on the action this Thanksgiving with Pass the Leg. Visit FanDuel.com/K to get started. FanDuel, play your game. 21 plus and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with the gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
14th ranked St. John's faces 21st ranked Auburn in their 3rd game of the Players Era Festival in Vegas. Coverage begins at 7:40 on the ESPN New York app.
Health surprises can change your life in an instant. You've seen it happen to others, but it doesn't have to be your story. At Princeton Longevity Center, we customize actionable and proactive health plans to maximize your lifespan and take control of your health. Our Cancer Check program combines cutting-edge technology with top medical expertise to keep you ahead of potential risks. With advanced full-body imaging, genetic testing, and multi-cancer detection blood tests, we look for even the earliest signs of problems. Results are analyzed by expert physicians who craft a personalized plan to safeguard your future. You're not just a patient, you're a partner in your health journey, backed by a team committed to helping you live longer, healthier, and more vibrantly. Our programs have saved hundreds of lives and empowered countless others to take control of their health. Be proactive with your health for the ultimate peace of mind. Call 888-8000-PLC or visit PrincetonLongevityCenter.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. That's ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN.
ZipRecruiter.
Right now at Bay Ridge Honda, experience the wonder of holiday savings on Honda cars, trucks, and SUVs during Happy Honda Days, like the Accord SE, only $239 per month, or the all-wheel drive Honda Ridgeline for only $289 a month. These clearance deals won't last long. Plus, receive thousands in benefits and savings with their Bay Ridge Plus Advantage plan. Upfront pricing, total peace of mind. Visit BayRidgeHonda.com. 36 months lease, 7,500 miles per year, $38.99 down, plus tax, tag, and fees. See dealer for full details.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it. Like that. Ask your phone. Group chat. Smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time. No waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696. And manage your diabetes as easy as...
ESPN New York is throwing a holiday party you don't want to miss. Join us Friday, December 12th at your mother's house in Garden City Park. We'll be broadcasting the Michael K. Show live from 1 to 3, followed by Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg from 3 to 7, all while supporting a great cause. Bring a toy to benefit the Garden of Dreams Foundation and help make the season brighter for local kids in need. It's the ESPN New York Holiday Party, Friday, December 12th, brought to you by Spike Day, Security Dodge, Amazon Pickup, and ESPN New York.
Welcome back to the show. Hey, hockey fans and holiday shoppers, join Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg live from the NHL shop. That's at Hudson Yards, Tuesday, December 2nd. That's from 3 to 6:30 p.m. They'll be talking all things hockey and joined on site by Hockey Hall of Famer, hockey legend Mark Messier. It's all powered by Game 7 Brands, bringing you closer to the action than ever before. Don't miss Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg live on Tuesday, December 2nd, from the NHL shop in Manhattan. I've always told you guys this. The worst people to put together a team or to make roster decisions are players, especially players close to when they played or playing. I mean, you can see some of the moves that LeBron James has wanted. They just don't have a feel for what a team needs. They have a feel for the type of player that they like and that they admire. I mean, there's a long story to get to this point. You know, the Raiders fired their offensive coordinator, Chip Kelly. The Raiders are having a terrible season under Pete Carroll. And, you know, Diana Rossini of The Athletic reporting that Tom Brady was a huge advocate of bringing Chip Kelly aboard as the offensive coordinator. He's fired 11 games into the season. So Tom Brady might be the GOAT, could be the greatest quarterback who ever lived, one of the great winners in sports history. Doesn't mean he's good at putting a team together. Just doesn't mean he is. It's a very specific skill set that you have to have in order to know who makes a team a winning team and what combination of players make things a winning team. A great player thinks that greatness alone, you could out-desire people to win. You need other things. You know, Michael Jordan was not great running things when he owned Charlotte. Michael Jordan hated when Jerry Krause brought in Tony Kukoc, who was a big part of one of the 3 championship runs. Jordan didn't want him there. You know, Jordan did not want them to trade Charles Oakley. He loved Charles Oakley. Bill Cartwright became a big part of what the Bulls did. So just because a guy's a great player does not mean that said guy is a great executive. Sometimes it's the Jerry Krauses who don't look anything like a sports expert that know exactly what pieces to put together in order for the team to excel. So far, if Tom Brady's fingerprints are on the Las Vegas Raiders, they're not good fingerprints. It's not a good look for him. That's not great. It's not what you want. So be careful when you see players want this player acquired, they want this guy traded. They usually have no idea how it works. They just know that their greatness makes the team better. But somebody else's greatness might not fit perfectly with the greatness that they're looking to achieve. I gave you a little bit of a Thanksgiving Eve quiz. We have 3 games tomorrow, 3 NFL games. There are 32 NFL teams. There's only one team out of 32 that has never played on Thanksgiving. Have you thought about it? Do you know who it is? I'll give you 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The only team that has never played on Thanksgiving, the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's the kind of stuff you get on this show. So now you are armed during the awkward time when dinner's being served or after dinner's served and might be a halftime show. Maybe you're not that into Jack Black. Is it Jack Black that's performing in Detroit? Or is it Jack White? I think it's Jack White. You're not into that performance. So now you could bring up as a point of conversation, you know what? You know, the Jaguars are the only team that has not played on Thanksgiving. Now, if you want a baseball one, I'm going to give you another great baseball one. Another great thing to discuss with your uncle that's getting a little loaded. Who was on deck for the Yankees when Chris Chambliss hit the home run in 1976 that sent them back to the World Series for the first time since 1964? Who was on deck when Chambliss hit the home run off Mark Littell? I'll tell you that. And the answer to that in the 2 o'clock hour. I'm going to make you the most popular person at Thanksgiving dinner. You can have all of these little nuggets that people can, how do you know that? And then you can tell them as you're leaving, I listen to the Michael K. Show from 1 to 3 right here on ESPN New York.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
D'Agostino & Associates is a legacy firm, and I'm proud to be a part of that legacy. I'm Jenna D'Agostino, and like my father, I fight to get justice for the injured.
The hustle and grit of these streets shaped me. I'm John D'Agostino, and from the concrete to the courtroom, I built this injury firm 35 years ago to get accident victims justice. So call my team first, 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222.
You want justice? Think Jenna D'Agostino. Think D'Agostino & Associates. Justice isn't just a word. For us, it's a way of life. It's having compassion for your struggle and getting you paid for your pain. Now that's justice. D'Agostino & Associates means being there for the injured.
Seriously injured? Call my team first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222. D'Agostino and Associates has offices throughout New York and New Jersey and will come to you. I've been there, and I'll be there for you. D'Agostino Law. Bite back.
1-877-CARS for kids. KARS, Cars for Kids. 1-877-CARS for kids. Donate your car today. 1-877-CARS for kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS for Kids. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877-CARS for Kids. KARS, Cars for Kids. 1-877-CARS for Kids. Donate your car today.
Hurry! It's your last chance to donate for 2025. Last chance! Donate now for a 2025 tax deduction.
ESPN Bet is becoming the score bet this December. The same betting app you love with a new look and promos curated just for you. Existing ESPN Bet customers don't have to change a thing. Your account, wallet, and bets will all remain the same. Plus, kick things off right now by logging in and claiming a 100% profit boost. More action, more rewards, more for you. The score bet coming this December. 21 plus, gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Most people in radio commercials talk really fast. But we made this one for RV owners. Progressive knows they like the slower pace of RV life, like this commercial. And they know Progressive will protect their RV at a fair price with discounts. Now here comes the fast part. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Hey, this is Mika Zibanejad.
Hey, this is Adam Fox. Catch every Rangers game right here on 880 ESPN.
WHSQ and WCBS FM HD2, New York.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You know, my producer, Ray Deanahan, is really a genius. So I've given you the Jaguars as the only team to not play on Thanksgiving. I'm going to give you another one now, and I'm giving you these so you have discussion points during, Thanksgiving. And Ray called this Tur-KAY Nuggets. Get it? Not turkey. Tur-KAY Nuggets. So the guy that was on deck when Chris Chambliss hit the home run against the Royals, Mark Littell, in Game 5 of the ALCS, sent the Yankees to the World Series in 1976, was Sandy Alomar. Yeah, there was some changes before, and it got that Sandy Alomar was batting behind Chris Chambliss. And another nugget that you can throw at the family on Thanksgiving is that Sandy Alomar, you see him in the replays on the on-deck circle, and you're thinking, well, what is this, some kind of time warp? Because that's Derek Jeter on deck. No, it's Sandy Alomar wearing number 2. Derek Jeter's number, which will never be worn again. But that's 3 things that you have. Tur-KAY Nuggets. And we always do this, and just for kicks and giggles, you guys know how I feel about steppage. Not that the play-by-play guy should have any kind of ego, although many do. But let the play-by-play guy finish his call before you just glomp all over him. Listen to Keith Jackson on the call for ABC with Howard Cosell in the booth. And this is the greatest example of steppage that you'll ever see, ever, or hear. Just for the holiday, let's listen to that call again.
Mark Littell delivers high drive. Hits it right center field. That's gone. It is gone. Chris Chambliss has won the American League pennant for the New York Yankees. A thrilling, dramatic game with overtones of that great 6th game in the World Series a year ago, and then the 7th game too. What a way for the American League season to end. A spunky young Kansas City team. Look at them mob Chris Chambliss.
All right, so when you hear Jackson say, deep fly ball right or whatever he said, and then Howard, unbelievable stat, it's gone. And then it takes about 3.5 more seconds for it actually to be gone. He could have had such unbelievable egg on his face. Now, let me give you another little tip that they give you when you're a television broadcaster. So when you're doing a TV broadcast, everybody's seeing what you're saying. So, the rule is you say the ball's gone, you might say the game is over, and then you're supposed to shut up and let the pictures tell the story. And that gets so much praise when you do that. I think it's gotten a little too far one way. I mean, I always look at my job, I'm putting a frame around the picture. I don't have to describe what's going on because you see that, but I like to put a little bit of a frame on the moment. But for the most part, I say, see ya, and then I shut the heck up. But once he says it's gone, then Cosell comes back and talks nonstop as Chambliss is trying to round the bases and the fans are running onto the field at Yankee Stadium. It's against everything that is preached now in broadcasting. Everything. The steppage, and then talking over the pictures. I would have my boss at Yes call me up and say, what are you doing? We can see it. I mean, they have kind of like a little rule. If it's a big home run, the most you should talk is when the guy's at second. Then just shut up and let the pictures tell the story. Now, sometimes you go more than that. I did that with Jeter's 3,000. I did that with Judge's 62nd. But if you see the walk-off home runs that we have and stuff like that, or walk-off hits, you say what you have to say, give the score, the moment, and then you let it breathe. Howard did not think so. And I'm not even knocking Cosell because he was a force amongst himself. There was nobody like him. There'll never be anybody like him again. They've tried to recreate him. It can't exist in this day and age. It did then. But that's the greatest example of steppage. And by the way, on deck was Sandy Alomar Jr. How about that? How about that? A little baseball news I was reading today. Ken Rosenthal on The Athletic had it. The Red Sox have touched base and have some interest in maybe signing JT Realmuto. Realmuto looking for probably a 3-year deal. People say he might get 15 a year, 20 a year. Narvaez did a good job for the Red Sox last year. He was hurt the final 3 months of the season, and his offense really went down. But that was quite a find for the Red Sox in the trade for the Yankees. And the Yankees got Elmer Rodriguez, who right now is listed as their best pitching prospect from the Red Sox for Narvaez. But Red Sox is snooping around on JT Realmuto. But the odds-on betting is that Realmuto will end up returning to the Philadelphia Phillies. 1-800-919-3776. Let's go back to the phones. Shall we do that? Let's go to Joseph in New Jersey. Joseph, talk to me.
Michael, how are you? Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for making it. What's up, man?
I just want to say I want to wish you and your family and your staff a happy Thanksgiving.
Same
you guys
to you.
do a marvelous job.
Thank you.
I've been a fan of yours since you were doing radio with John Sterling. I love your calls.
Thank you.
I finally got a chance to meet you during the season. Friday night, I go to the stadium. Yankees playing the Red Sox. Josh is a huge home run. They win the game. And I look over on the side. I see, wow, it's Michael Kay. I know you were with your family. And so in between innings, I go, and I'm very excited. And I was like, Michael, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be disrespectful. Could I take a picture with you? And you're like, sure. It was like, you took a picture, you shook my hand. And thank you, man. It really meant a lot to me.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you, Joseph. I remember that game. I was there. I didn't do the game because it was on, I believe it was on Fox. And I watched the game as a fan.
Yeah, I came over to you in between innings. You were wonderful, and he took a picture with me. My mom was a big fan of yours, and
thank you.
Really appreciate it.
So what do you got?
My question to you, is, so I heard Cash pretty much acknowledge that Williams and Weaver are not coming back. And I want to know, are the Yankees in on Edwin Diaz? Is that a possibility? Or do they just wait and to see if the Mets he doesn't go back there, and they just dive into that to avoid the bidding war?
Well, at no point, Joseph, I don't know where you heard that did Cashman say for sure that Williams and Weaver are not coming back. I mean, the betting odds would be that they're not. I can't see the Yankees giving Edwin Diaz a 5-year, $100 million contract, which I think is what it's going to take. Might even take more than that. Diaz is coming off such a great season, but I think Toronto's in on Diaz. The Dodgers might be in on Diaz, and the Mets obviously want to bring him back. There's so many relievers that are out there and available as free agents. I don't think you really have to go the Edwin Diaz route, although he's outstanding. The Yankees do have a closer, and that's David Bednar at a very reasonable salary, which allows them to maybe spend more money than they would on a setup guy, which maybe would be a closer that would be amenable to setting up. I just don't think Edwin would want to set up. And you're kind of wasting the value that you're getting from Bednar being the closer and not making all that much money. Let's go to Sebastian in Manhattan. Sebastian.
Hey, Michael. Happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you.
I just wanted to say I think it's a disgrace that you don't call the Yankees playoff games. I just wanted to put that out there. And then also, my question is, I know you defend Hal Steinbrenner. Obviously, he does put up $300 million year in and year out.
Mm-hmm.
But it is his fault, man, that the Yankees haven't got over that hump. And this is why I say so. If Brian Cashman isn't doing his job in putting the right roster together, then why aren't you holding him accountable? Not you, Michael, but how? Why isn't he he should have been? I think he would have been fired years ago if George was around. Because it's all right, I am giving you this $300 million payroll, but you're not getting the job done.
Well, listen, I can actually appreciate your argument more than the argument that says, well, he should spend even more money than $320. You can have a discussion. Why does he, stay with the present situation if they haven't won a World Series since 2009? But when you say he hasn't put the right roster together, we don't know internally what the Yankees consider a success. Now, in the past, it would be, George would say World Series or bust. But maybe the Yankees say, we want to have a team that has a chance to win a World Series every single year. And for the most part, since he's become the GM, every year, they're one of the favorites to win the World Series. Now, they haven't done it since 2009. They did get there in 2024 and lost in 5 games. So maybe they're evaluating it differently. Every year they have a chance. Every year they're playing games that count in September, right down to the end. So I can't get inside Hal Steinbrenner's mind. Maybe he's looking at what Brian's doing and saying, that's successful. Every year he gives us a chance to win. Now, it's not a perfect roster because we're not winning, but every year we're in discussion to win a World Series. That therein lies the difference between the way fans might look at it and the way the owner of the team might look at it. Maybe he has the utmost faith in Brian Cashman and thinks that Brian's doing an absolutely great job because what he considers a success might not be what you consider a success. Let's go to Joe in Chappaqua.
Hey,
Joe.
Michael. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.
And the same to you.
So with the Mets trading Nimmo, I'm concerned that they're going to go hard after Bellinger. Yankee fan, that worries me because I
think we're losing.
I don't know. What do you think?
Well, Joe, I think you should be a little bit concerned. We had on Andy Martino of SNY yesterday, and Andy said that he thinks that that's the guy they're going after. Is Cody Bellinger? They're talking about run prevention. You put Cody Bellinger in left field, He's a top flight left fielder. He's really something else defensively. And, he's proven that he could hit. He had a great season with the Yankees. So I think the Mets could be involved. I've heard from some people that they're probably not going to be involved because they don't want to be as left-handed as they were, and you're bringing in Cody, who would be left-handed. But the Yankees don't want to be as left-handed as they were, and they're still willing to bring in Cody Bellinger. So, it's a concern. The Mets have 2 spots in the outfield open, and maybe one of the answers to those spots, all they have to do is spend money. Let's go to Moose in Jamaica. Moose.
What's going on, Michael? First things first, happy Thanksgiving to you and yours and everybody in your chat, everybody at ESPN New York. Hope it's blessed.
Appreciate that. Same to you.
Likewise. I will be with my family, and my one uncomfortable truth is the only time I ever dive in to pumpkin pie like you, but you don't even bother, is Thanksgiving. I mean, with like Frank also said, some whipped cream, it's tolerable.
Oh, well, I hope you enjoy it.
Thanks. But my favorite thing is getting a platter worth of food and just mixing it all up and going in.
So you don't mind
but
when the other foods touch each other. You don't mind that.
I'm the type that'll mix everything at Panera Bread. So, a smorgasbord, if you would. Right. Yeah, I'm the type that savors all types of flavors, sweet, savory, salty.
Love it.
All that stuff. But, yeah. So, that being said, I want to come to the defense of and you and all that stuff, and even suggest that if possibly, not signing Cody Bellinger may be a blessing in disguise for the future plans of the Yankees. But this is the real thing. Let's say we're in the market for Fernando Tatis or a Corey Seager. If possibly moving on from a Stanton in those deals to free up space to make the budget more feasible so that we don't sacrifice possibly signing Paul Skeens in the future. I don't really want to trade for him. He's had his heart set on signing with the Yankees probably when he's a free agent. So that'll take that money, right?
That's
I
4
don't
years
mind,
from now.
and I don't want to move on from Stanton because he's a dude, he's a guy, he's a thing, he's legit. But if we can get a Fernando Tatis or Corey Seager for that might be a decent look.
Well, I mean, but there's several variables on this, Moose. He has a complete no trade clause, and he's not going to waive it. Remember, he had a no trade clause with the Marlins, and they had a deal with St. Louis. He said no. They had a deal with San Francisco. He said no. He only said yes to the Yankees. He's not going anywhere. And Giancarlo Stanton is the least of your problems. He has $17 million. I think the Yankees pay him like $18 million of the salary that he has left each year, which is nothing now because the Marlins pay a lot of the last 2 years of the salary. That's what Derek Jeter gave up in the trade. So I don't think that's going to prohibit you from going after Paul Skeens. There's only 2 more years of Stanton. Paul Skeens is not a free agent until 5 years from now. He has 4 more years of control by the Pirates or whichever team they trade him to. And we have absolutely no idea that Paul Skeens wants to sign with the Yankees. There was a report that he said was erroneous, that he told his teammates that's where he wants to play. He's since denied he ever said it, and I would believe him. What kind of player would tell the teammates on his present team, I want to play for the Yankees? Doesn't sound like him. This guy is a flatline dude. He's not too high, he's not too low. He's just not. I saw him when he won the Rookie of the Year. Looked like he was sleeping. He did show a little emotion when he won the Cy Young. But I don't think they're going after Seager. Now, Tatis, if you've heard the show the last week or so, I'm all for that. I think that's a smart move because it kind of fills everything that you need. Right-handed batter, outstanding defender in the outfield, wherever you put him. If you want to maybe bring him back to the dirt and put him at shortstop, that's also a possibility. And what looked like an onerous contract averages out to less than $25 million a year. He's a steal, and he's an unbelievable talent. I don't know what he is off the field. I don't know how he is in the clubhouse. That's for the Yankees to try out. That's for them to investigate. Steve in Middle Village. Steve.
Hey, Michael, thanks for taking the call, and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Same to you.
Quickly, a couple of things. One is you broadcast the Cosell call. I'm from Brooklyn. I watched the game in the Bronx at my friend's apartment. I brought my old color TV up there, and we listened. Even though the two of the guys in the apartment were Mets fans, I'm a Yankee fan. We listened to the Channel 11 broadcast by Phil Rizzuto.
Back when you were allowed to do that.
Yes, exactly. It was a unique time. And Phil, in his later years, he joked around. I love Phil. I met him once. Wonderful man. And, of course, you know him very well. He did a hell of a good call with Chris Chambliss. I advise anybody who wants to hear it should go on YouTube. It's really a great call. He did it right. He was Phil Rizzuto, but he presented all the facts.
And I've always said this, Steve, and I'm glad you brought it up. People look at Phil Rizzuto and, the cannolis and that he would leave early and Cora and the George Washington Bridge. He really could call a game. I mean, some of the biggest calls he nailed. You listen to Roger Maris's 61st home run, nailed it. The Chambliss home run on Pix 11, nailed it. I mean, this guy knew how to call a game. He had great pacing, really good voice, and he rose to the big moments as he did as a player. So yeah, I think he was terrific, terrific. Let's go to Rashad in the Bronx. Rashad.
Hey, Michael. Yeah. First of all, I'd like to say happy holidays.
Same to you, man.
And I'd like to say I totally agree with you. Stuffing is disgusting. I can't stand it. I tried it once, never again. So you're not missing anything.
Love it.
Yeah. Now, I do want to make a point about the Mets.
Okay.
So with this Nimmo trade, getting Marcus Semien. So where would they put McNeil at? That must mean McNeil probably is going to be on the chopping block, right?
I think he's owed $17.75 million this year. He is versatile. He can play the outfield. Martino said yesterday that if they don't sign Alonso, they could platoon McNeil and Vientos at first base. So there's ways they could use him if they don't trade him. But I would agree with you, Rashad. They'll probably try to trade him.
Yeah, and Stearns kept us talking about run prevention was what the Mets did last year. Mm-hmm. I mean, mind you, the Mets defense was not good last year. But the thing that really killed the Mets, and we all seen this, is they couldn't get a pitcher that can go more than 4 innings. That's what really killed the Mets last year.
Yeah, and it wore out their bullpen. I would agree. And then when it came to the trade deadline, he didn't really improve the team that much. I mean, those are things that he has to answer to, but he did not improve the team as much as he had to. I mean, just because they're, crosstown rivals, you look at how Cashman improved the Yankees at the trade deadline, and you look at what Stearns did at the trade deadline. He didn't get a starter, which he needed. He tried to get bullpen help. Ryan Helsley ended up being a complete bomb for the Mets. He didn't help the team as much as he could have. He wanted to hold on to his prospect. He prospect hugged, and that might pay off. I mean, McClain might end up being an outstanding pitcher. You've got Sproat, you've got Tong. They could use them in deals maybe if they want to investigate getting Skubal or somebody else that they have more control over. So he did hold on to his prospects rather than maybe he looked at his team and he knew, you know what, this is not a great team. Why am I throwing good money after bad? Doesn't make sense. He's got to have a better winter than he had the previous winter and also the trade deadline. So there's some pressure on him. Hey, the ESPN New York holiday party, it's back. This show, the Michael K. Show, and Don Hahn and Rosenberg, well, they're bringing the holiday cheer at your mother's house in Garden City Park, Long Island. That'll be on Friday, December 12th. We're all looking forward to it and looking forward to seeing you. We're once again collecting unwrapped toy donations this year to benefit the Garden of Dreams Foundation. All kicks off at 1 p.m. on Friday, December 12th at your mother's house. Brought to you by Amazon Pickup, Security Dodge, and Spiked Aid. It's Wednesday, and you know what happens on Wednesday, right? 2:30. We get a chance to talk to Mike Lupica, and he has some strong opinions about who's to blame with the Yankees not winning a World Series since 2009. Has a column out in the New York Daily News, and we'll talk about that with Mike in just a moment. Hey, right now at Bay Ridge Honda, experience the wonder of holiday savings on Honda cars, trucks, and SUVs during Happy Honda Days, like the Accord SE, only $239 per month, or the all-wheel drive Honda Ridgeline for only $289 a month. These clearance deals, they won't last long. Plus, receive thousands in benefits and savings with their Bay Ridge Plus Advantage plan. Upfront pricing, total peace of mind. Visit BayRidgeHonda.com. 36 months lease, 7,500 miles per year, $38.99 down plus tax, tag, and fees. See dealer for full details.
14th ranked St. John's faces 21st ranked Auburn in their third game of the Players Era Festival in Vegas. Coverage begins at 7:40 on the ESPN New York app.
1 in every 6 men is likely to be diagnosed with prostate cancer in his lifetime. That's why New York Presbyterian wants to remind men over 50 to book a prostate cancer screening. A simple blood test is all it takes. It could save your life. Screenings are available across New York City and Westchester at locations near you. Schedule your annual prostate cancer screening today at nyp.org/cancer screening. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
To help those who want to be helped, but may not be able to afford it.
That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
Mornings with DiPietro and Rothenberg.
This whole idea that Joe Shane is just safe and you have nothing to worry about is apparently not true. He's going to do the due diligence. All right, here's a folder on him and a folder on him and a folder on him. They will determine who they want based off of his information. He is hardly safe. Not that he won't be back, but it's not a slam dunk that he will be back.
DiPietro and Rothenberg, morning 6 to 10 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
John Ryan.
Yeah, Dad.
I think I came up with a killer slogan for our law firm. D'Agostino and Associates, bite back.
Bite back?
Yeah. When someone hurts you, you bite back. We'll be the law firm that bites back.
Dad, that's brilliant. Accident victims, call D'Agostino and Associates and bite back. Hey, we could even put a big vicious dog on billboards everywhere.
Yeah, and Rottweilers on buses.
Hey, how about a toll-free number?
What are you thinking?
You know, like 1-800-BITE-BACK.
1-800-BITE-BACK. That's brilliant.
But what if people hear fight back?
Easy. I'll spell it out for them, like 1-800-BITE, back. 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222.
Love it. Hey, Dad.
Yeah?
All this talk about biting back got me hungry.
Me too. Want to grab lunch?
Sure. Hey, how about a jingle?
You mean like, D'Agostino, law, bite back?
Coach Saban here. On the field or on your walls, coverage matters. That's why I go with Behr Marquee Interior Paint and Primer from the Home Depot.
Exceptional hide, advanced stain blocking, and over 1,000 colors to choose from. Behr Marquee delivers one-coat coverage that stands up to real life. One-coat coverage, no overtime. Behr Marquee, only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Valid only when tinted to colors from the Behr Marquee Interior One-Coat Hide Collection.
Rich Eisen here, and we're brought to you by Sonos. The holidays are all about connection, and Sonos speakers make every moment sound amazing. Imagine your favorite playlist flowing from room to room, movie nights that feel like the theater, or the big game filling your living room with stadium-quality sound. Whether it's a gift for someone you love or a little to-me, from-me moment, Sonos is the perfect gift that brings high-quality sound to every room. Sonos' Black Friday sale is on now through December 1st, 2025 at Sonos.com. Discover how easy it is to bring every room to life with Sonos.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Thanksgiving Eve. Hope you have a wonderful day with your family tomorrow and the whole weekend as well. Part of our family here on the K Show on Thursdays is Mike Lupica. You could read him in the New York Daily News. Best-selling author as well, MLB.com. A lot of places you can consume him, but here on Wednesdays at 2:30, this is the place, and we welcome Mike in. Mike, happy Thanksgiving, my friend.
Happy Thanksgiving, pal. Now, are you doing the turkey tomorrow?
My sister always does it, so we go to her house.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
How about you?
Yeah, I have family members who do that. I sort of oversee Michael, and I give the toast, and then we go watch football.
Love it. That's a holiday right there. That's a holiday. Now,
right.
I read your column in the news, with much interest, and in short, I'll let you expound on it, but you're not putting blame on Hal Steinbrenner. You're saying Hal Steinbrenner does what Hal Steinbrenner has to do as an owner.
Yeah, this idea, I was amazed. I don't know about you, Michael. I was kind of amazed the way he got jumped the other day for talking about $300 million again, and he quickly qualified what he was saying by pointing out that they probably wouldn't stay under $300 million. But what Michael's talking about a column that it'll be in tomorrow's paper. It's already posted online at the Daily News. Hal Steinbrenner has spent enough money on the Yankees. The idea that he hasn't is, to me, ridiculous. Yes, he's been passed by Uncle Steve Cohen. Yes, he's been passed by the Los Angeles Dodgers. But, Michael, as I point out in the column, and you find the payrolls at different places, but one of the places I trust says, from the time Hal has really been in the big chair, which started like the year before the Yankees won their last World Series, the Yankees have led in payroll 7 times. They've been second 6 times, and I think they've been third 2 other times. So the point I'm making is, it's not like they've been shorthanded as they tried to win the World Series. He has spent a ton of dough. I think in this century, the Yankees have spent like $3 billion or something crazy on baseball players. And the other thing I point out is only 3 times in the last decade of baseball has the team with the biggest payroll won the World Series. Dodgers just did it. They did it in 20, which is with a bullet because it was the COVID year, 60 games. And the Red Sox did it in 2018. So this idea, if you just spend and spend and spend, you are going to win the World Series, the numbers don't bear that out. And Mike, I said this at the very start of the column. Sometimes you wonder if Hal really likes being in the big chair. I wonder sometimes how much of a baseball fan he really is. He looks uncomfortable every time he has to be in the spotlight. But the idea that he gets alligator arms when it's time to spend money on the New York Yankees is ridiculous. He has given Brian Cashman more than enough money to have won more than one World Series in the last 25 years.
I agree with what you're saying, but just doing this show, Mike, Yankee fans think that he should outspend the world, and they always bring up this one thing, and boy, can you talk about this as well as anybody. The romanticization, if I made a word up, of George. Now, George had a great second act. The first act, the 1980s weren't too kind, and when the fans cheered when he left Yankee Stadium, suspended for, quote, life, Hal's not his dad. But I don't think he's cheap at all. I don't see it, and I don't understand why fans just think, okay, if he spends $400 million, he's going to win. 320 is not enough?
It's Michael, to me, it's just a ridiculous position for people to take. And by the way, oh my God, yeah, let's do this more. What would George do? Boy, this wouldn't happen if George were around. And people develop amnesia about all the bad parts. And they develop amnesia about that he had to get suspended from baseball for a second time, a world's record, so that Gene Michael and Buck Showalter could build the foundation of what became Joe Torre's Yankees. And Michael, even when the old man was spending in the last decade of his life, okay, they went 9 years, and he was fading badly, of course, we all know, by 2009. They nearly went the last decade of George's life without winning the World Series. So that, Mike, my head explodes every time somebody will write or say, "Oh, this wouldn't happen if George." What wouldn't happen? What wouldn't happen? Yeah, they had a great time in the late 1990s. They did. But, Mike, they have made him something more than he was in retrospect. That's all.
Now, we had a caller earlier. Now, if you want to criticize Hal, you have the right to do what you want. Yankee fans, there's a certain age of Yankee fan that was promised it's a World Series or bust. Hal's never said that, nor has Brian. But Hal has entrusted this to Brian. So if you want to criticize Hal, you could say, okay, he's entrusted everything to Brian, and Brian hasn't brought it home. But I said this to the caller, Mike. Maybe the Yankees look at success now differently than they have in the past. Maybe just give me a team every year that has a chance to win the World Series, and you've done your job. And Brian certainly has done that job.
But they can't say that to the fan base.
No.
They can't. It would make them incredibly tone deaf to the franchise. Again, look at the finances of just the last season in baseball, okay? The Dodgers wildly outspent everybody, including Uncle Steve, right? And went back to Toronto, down 3-2, and came within a blink in a great Game 7 of not winning the World Series. The Yankees had to survive 2 match points against a Boston Red Sox team that spent $100 million less than they did on baseball players last year. The Yankees spent $50 million more than the Toronto Blue Jays. That you cannot simply measure this in the amount of money spent. That's the point of this column. And Mike, by the way, nobody had a more famous and adversarial relationship with the old man than I did. Nobody. I nicknamed him Boss Steinbrenner, and not because I thought he was like Bruce Springsteen, because I thought sometimes he operated like a mob boss. Okay, and so I'm defending a Steinbrenner today, and I'll stand by that. I'll stand by that defense. This is not about him. Now, if he comes out and says, I'm perfectly happy with the way things are, that we have a chance every October, blah, 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 then I would take out after him, because I think Yankee fans are entitled to a better attitude than that, okay, from the guy who's paying the bills. But until he does, I just say that those teams for 25 years, I've been writing this for a while, Michael, the Yankees are the kings of being good, but not quite good enough.
Well, let me tell you something that Don LaGreca always says. They might not say that, Mike, but the fact that there has not been a change, they're saying it. Isn't that fair?
Yeah. Listen, Michael, I'm always reluctant to, for even to suggest that people should lose their jobs in sports. Okay, so I'm not suggesting that right now, but there is a lack of pressure applied to his general manager and his manager. That's just the fact of things. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a team that has won 4 World Series to the Yankees' 1 since October of 2004. That is the Boston Red Sox. Look at the changes that John Henry has made. And again, his fans right now don't think he spends nearly enough. But look at what he's done with managers and general managers. And now it's been 7 years since they won the World Series. I happen to think they're going to be a contender next year. But that is a different business plan at Fenway Park than it is at Yankee Stadium, because there's a ruthlessness to John Henry that we do not see. In fact, the funny thing is, John Henry's a lot more ruthless in the way he does business than Hal is, but similarly ruthless the way George Steinbrenner was.
It is funny also what you wrote in the column, which really rang true. Other than fans of the Mets and the Dodgers, every fan base thinks their owner should spend more money, including the Cubs. And as you mentioned, fans in Boston are very upset. Okay, you got rid of Devers. Are you going to spend more money? Although, unbelievably, somehow Sonny Gray's going to make $41 million next year. So I think that's just a rallying cry of all fan bases. Spend more, spend more, spend more. And the scary thing for some owners, though, Mike, is that the team that spent the most ended up winning the championship. So that further emboldens fans. See? And now you said it doesn't happen a lot over the last 20 years, but last year it did.
Yeah, and if it keeps happening, then everybody has to look at their business plan. Mike, go back. It's spotrac.com. Go look at the payrolls, I think, on their website go back to 2011, okay? Go back Go back and look how much money Dave Dombrowski has spent since he's been in Philadelphia, okay? Look, again, you just mentioned the Cubs and the Red Sox. I mentioned them in my count. Look how far down the list they are, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, it's like I said at the end of the column, the old trope about money doesn't buy happiness, but it will finance an exhaustive search, okay? Hal Steinbrenner has spent. He has spent and spent and spent. And I'll just circle back to something I said to you a few minutes ago, Michael. He nearly lost in the first round to a team he outspent by $100 million this year.
And on top of all that, he made Garrett Cole the highest paid pitcher of all time. He offered an incredible, more money than I think he was comfortable with Juan Soto. He gave, at the time, an unbelievable deal to Aaron Judge, which turns out to be that it's going to be a bargain. So he does spend. For fans that say that he's cheap, and another thing that I don't like either, that you even said at the beginning of the interview, he's not demonstrative like his dad, but he wants to win very badly, Mike. If he didn't, he could spend $250 and pocket $70 million more money. So I mean, for those that say he doesn't want to win, well, show me how he doesn't want to win.
Mike, I'm telling you, you referenced Soto. I said, I think in the second to last paragraph of this column, do the people who think he's cheap think he offered more than $700 million to Juan Soto last winter just to show what a good sport he is? No. And let me tell you something, Mike. For all of the what would George do if only George were here? Please, George, come back, okay? For all that stuff. If George were here right now, you know what he'd be doing? He'd be watching Juan Soto play baseball for the New York Mets, and he'd be watching Yamamoto pitch for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Because
the rules have changed from when George owned the team. And there wasn't a Mark Walter, and there wasn't a Steve Cohen, because those guys, Mike, and from what, if you believe what you want to read, Steve Cohen lost like $350 million on the Mets in the last couple of years. That's nothing to him. He wipes his butt with that. But for Hal Steinbrenner and the investors of the Yankees, they can't afford to lose $350 million. They're not going to do it.
I said in the column, Steve Cohen is someone right now who's probably wondering, with his general manager, how much is enough for you, okay? But as I point out in the column, the Mets are not the Yankees. The reason I was writing about Hal today is because he's the one who was in the news this week. And, it's not a normal course of business for me to look like I'm carrying the water for a Steinbrenner. But I just felt today it was just something that needed to be. I mean, you probably said it more often than I have. I just felt like it was something that needed to be said.
Yeah, absolutely. Before I let you go, did you like the Nimmo for Simeon deal?
No, I didn't. I know run prevention is like the mantra now over at Citi Field. All I can tell from what I've been reading and hearing for the last 2 days, Michael, is that Simeon is now the greatest 230 hitter in all of recorded baseball history.
But he can play defense.
I know he can, but, it goes back to the Alonso thing that we've talked about, run prevention. Okay, you go prevent runs, but if you let Alonso go walk out the door, then you get me somebody who's going to hit however many home runs he hit in 126 RBI or whatever he had.
And you'd be preventing your team from scoring runs then.
Kinda.
Mike, I'm thankful for our friendship all these years. Have a wonderful day tomorrow with your family. Please tell everybody hello. Tell the boys hello. Tell your wife, your daughter, everybody, and I send you only good wishes.
Back out, your pal. You know how happy I am for the success you've had. You have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you so much. That's Mike Lupica. You read that story in the New York Daily News. It's online right now. It'll be in the physical paper tomorrow. 2-pack for sure. Coming up as we wrap things up, we'll talk with you as well. The Fall Savings Event continues this November at Bay Ridge Mazda. Lease a 2025 Mazda CX-30S for as low as $169 per month, or the 2025 Mazda CX-5 Select for as low as $229 per month, and get as low as 0.9% APR financing rates on select models. Plus, enjoy 1 year complimentary of Bay Ridge Plus benefits like ding and dent coverage, key replacement, windshield protection, and roadside assistance. Visit them in Brooklyn or online at BayRidgeMazda.com. Bay Ridge Mazda, where confidence comes standard. See dealer for details.
The truck's back and it's better than ever. Roaring engines this year. Hess race cars are here.
The Hess stock car racers are loaded with lights, sounds, and a powerful racing motor. Only at HessToyTruck.com. Free shipping and batteries included.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Some stages celebrate. This one tests everything. Every drive, every approach, every putt. Pressure builds, resilience matters, and history waits for the bold. In June, the 2026 U.S. Open Championship returns to the Hamptons at the iconic Shinnecock Hills Golf Club. Experience the world's best golfers competing on one of the sport's most storied stages. Don't just watch greatness, experience it live at the 126th U.S. Open. Daily tickets are available now on SeatGeek.
Friends, it's football season, the best time of the year. You should be out there tailgating, cheering on your team, and enjoying every Sunday. But if you're dealing with neck pain, back pain, sciatica, or nerve pain, even getting off the couch can feel like a challenge. You don't have to live like that. There's help. Dr. Jay Shaw at Sandwell Pain is New Jersey's top pain specialist. He's Ivy League trained, double board certified, and is dedicated to helping you get back in the game. Here's what makes the difference. No surgery, no scars, no long recovery, no pain medication. Just precise, non-surgical image-guided procedures that deliver real results. Dr. Shaw treats neck pain, back pain, joint pain, migraines, nerve pain, and sciatica with a plan that's customized for you. Same-day and next-day appointments are available, and with offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood, relief is always close. So don't let pain keep you on the sidelines this season. Visit SandwellPain.com to call, text, or book online. Most major insurances are accepted. That's SandwellPain.com. Relief is closer than you think, and it starts today.
Tire care shouldn't come with extra costs or surprise fees, and it should be simple, straightforward, and stress-free. So at Midas, they're rolling out the limited lifetime tire guarantee. Included with every tire purchase with paid installation, you'll pay nothing for flat repairs, nada for flat replacements, zilch for tire rotations every 5,000 miles, and zero for other preventative maintenance. So with this limited lifetime tire guarantee, you'll pay a whole lot of nothing compared to what the other guys charge for tire care. That's a limited lifetime tire guarantee only at Midas.
Rich Eisen here. As you all know, I care deeply about pediatric cancer research and awareness. That's why I'm proud to talk about Hyundai Hope on Wheels. For over 27 years, every Hyundai sold has helped fund life-saving pediatric cancer research. Together with over 850 dealers nationwide, they've raised more than $277 million, supporting over 25,000 kids in their fight against cancer. At Hyundai, hope isn't optional. It comes standard. Visit HyundaiUSA.com and search Hyundai Hope on Wheels to learn more. You live for this. The wins, the losses, the slam dunks, and the buzzer beaters. The dream that this is your team's year. Hope, it's what keeps you coming back. So you represent with anticipation and with pride. Because when everything's on the line, your support means everything. That's why the NBA Store is here to support you. Check out the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like a Friday on a Wednesday because there's no show on Thanksgiving nor on Friday. So we'll make our picks today. Now you might not be that interested in my picks because the last 4 games I've picked, the last 4, I've gone 0-3-1. Every game I've lost by a half point or tied. The one that wasn't a hook game, that's the one that tied. Every single game I've lost by a half point. So maybe I'm losing the mojo. It's discouraging. It makes me nervous. I don't like it. I've now fallen under 500 after last week's 0-2. I'm 11-12-1 on the season. I'm not feeling good about things. So here we go. Mentioned the Jaguars earlier, right? They're 6.5-point favorites over the Titans. This game is in Tennessee. Jags, they can really be good sometime, and then they make you scratch your head. They beat the Chargers 35-6 a couple of weeks ago. I mean, the Chargers have their issues, but they're a pretty good team, and the Jags kind of slap them around. Jags have a quarterback that sometimes looks unbeatable, and then he looks awful at other times. I'm thinking against the Titans, he's going to be unbelievable. Titans look like they want that first pick in the draft. So give me the Jaguars. I'll give the 6.5. Hopefully, the half point will not get me. The other game, it's not a hook game. The Dolphins are 6-point favorites over the Saints. Game's in Miami. Miami, by the way, very quietly starting to play better. They have covered in 6 of their last 9 games. They've beaten the Falcons. They've beaten the Bills. And the Saints, also a team that looks like it wants a little bit of a chance at the number 1 pick. So I think the Dolphins are going to win this game, maybe by 10, 2 touchdowns, something like that. So give me the Dolphins in Miami. I'll give the 6 points to the Saints. I think that should be a fairly easy cover. Those are my 2-pack for sure picks. Now with the Giants and the Jets. Jets, 2.5-point favorites. Getting 2.5 points, by the way, over the Falcons. Not quite sure about that. The Falcons, 1-4 against the spread as favorites. Also, Greg London is out for the Falcons. I think this is a game that the Jets are going to win. So the 2.5 points seems like it's just piling on, but I'll take it. This is not one of my picks, though, but I like to give you my take on the New York teams. So give me the Jets. I'll take the 2.5. I think they actually beat the Falcons, and then Jet fans could pull out their hair saying, gee, we're hurting our chances of getting number 1 pick. The Giants are 7.5-point underdogs in New England on Monday Night Football against the Pats. New England keeps winning games, but they have not covered. I believe they're 1-3 against the spread in their last 4 games. So that's something to be worried about. 7.5, there's that hook again. But if you said, Michael, you got to pick the game. It's a New York team. You got to pick the game. There's something telling me to take the Giants and take the 7.5. I don't feel great about it, but Jackson Dart could be back. We have not yet heard if he's cleared concussion protocol. They've looked good with Jameis Winston. I think Jackson Dart can be better, and it looks like Mike Kafka has been much more imaginative in his play calling than he was as the offensive coordinator. So give me the Giants in the 7.5. I don't think they'll beat the Patriots, but I think they'll keep it close enough. And they do have a history, by the way, of shocking the Patriots when the Patriots are, in fact, favorites. So 7.5 points, maybe the Patriots look at this as a layup and they don't put a lot of points on the board. And maybe Shane Bowen being somewhere else, the defense is re-energized as well. So I take the Jets. I'll take the 2.5. I'll take the Giants and take the 7.5. I believe the Jets are going to win the game. I don't think the Giants will, but 7.5 seems like a lot. I do want to remind you, this Thanksgiving, FanDuel is introducing a brand new way to build a parlay together. It's called Pass the Leg. Now, here's how it works. Start a group build, add your pick, then pass it to your friends so they can add theirs. When everyone's done, you each lock in the group parlay with your own funds because football is better when it's played and bet together. And to make it even better, everyone gets a 50% profit boost to use on their build. There's so many things that you could bet for this Thanksgiving Day. The Chiefs, right? They're in Dallas. Do you like Dak Prescott, the over in yards? Well, how about Patrick Mahomes? You could do the same deal there. How about the Ravens hosting the Bengals? Joe Burrow is coming back. Over under maybe on touchdowns, over under on yards. And with the Ravens, will Derrick Henry find the end zone? These are some of the things on your Thanksgiving buffet. Grab your crew, start your build, and get in on the action this Thanksgiving with Pass the Leg. Visit FanDuel.com/K to get started. FanDuel, play your game. 21 plus and physically present in New York, opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. Saints did something this week that annoyed me, but it doesn't surprise me. they tried out Justin Tucker, who just finished serving a 10-game suspension for accusations of misappropriate sexual behavior. He was accused by 16 different massage therapists dating back to 2012. Hasn't been charged in a court of law, but the NFL did its own investigation and suspended the guy for 10 games. Now, he used to be a great kicker. Before he got suspended, he had certainly dropped from great. But the Saints needed a kicker. Now, they ended up not signing him. But the fact that they brought him in shows you that they do not care why he was suspended, because they'll probably say, well, he served his time. He served his suspension. He has the right to earn a living. You're right. Absolutely right. But does he have is it necessary for him to earn a living in your organization? Is that the people that you want to associate with? Again, not guilty of anything, but guilty enough that the NFL suspended him for 10 games. There's too much of it out there that teams just forget about something a guy did because he has a specific skill set that they think could help them win. And it does make you wonder what they know about Trevor Bauer, that he's never gotten that chance. And what they know about John Gruden, that he's never gotten a second chance as a coach. Because it seems like most every team holds their nose and say, oh, yeah, I'll try him out. I don't care what he did. Awful. But that's what sports has become. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, a great Thanksgiving with your family and friends. Stay healthy. I couldn't be more thankful to have you as my co-host every single day. I'll be back again Monday at 1 o'clock. Looking forward to that. Coming up, Hahn and Rosenberg. So please, please enjoy this time with your family and friends. In the words of Billy Joel, life is a series of hellos and goodbyes. I'm afraid it's time for goodbye again. See everybody. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique personal injury and workers' compensation laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling all types of accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for injured New Yorkers. From construction to car accidents and slips and falls, they've got you covered. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS, where your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.